If a plane disappears without crashing, where does it go?
It began on what seemed like an ordinary morning at a busy airport. Passengers walked through the terminal, carrying bags and small conversations. Some were business travelers, checking their phones. Others were families quietly waiting at the gate. Outside, the weather was perfect. Clear skies, calm winds, nothing unusual at all. Inside the cockpit, the pilots followed standard procedures. Every system was checked. Every indicator showed green. There were no warnings, no technical concerns. Everything appeared normal and safe. The aircraft slowly moved toward the runway. Moments later, it lifted into the sky smoothly and without effort. At that exact moment, nothing felt wrong. No one suspected anything. But this ordinary flight was about to become something else, something unforgettable. Because only minutes after takeoff, this airplane would disappear from the sky, not with an explosion, not with a crash, but without leaving a single trace behind. After takeoff, the aircraft continued along its planned route. Altitude remained stable. Speed was consistent. The flight was progressing exactly as expected. Air traffic controllers monitored the plane on their radar screens. Everything looked normal. Then, slowly, something changed. The radar signal began to weaken. At first, it flickered slightly. Then it faded again. Controllers leaned closer to their screens. They attempted to contact the cockpit. There was no reply. They tried again, using a different frequency. Still nothing. Seconds passed, then more seconds. Suddenly, the signal disappeared completely. One moment, the aircraft was visible. The next moment, it was gone. No distress call was ever received. No emergency signal was sent. It was as if the airplane had simply vanished from the air. Inside the control tower, confusion spread quickly. Controllers rechecked their equipment one by one. They verified radar systems. They checked communication channels. Everything was functioning normally. Other aircraft appeared clearly on the screen. Their signals were stable and unchanged. Only one was missing: the lost flight. Multiple attempts were made to contact the cockpit. Controllers switched frequencies. They repeated the flight number. They waited for any response. But each attempt ended the same way. No voice, no static, no background noise, just silence. The room slowly grew quiet. Experienced controllers exchanged worried looks. They had seen technical failures before. They had seen emergencies before. But this was different. If the plane had crashed, there should have been a signal. If there had been an onboard emergency, there should have been a call. Yet there was absolutely nothing. At that moment, everyone in the control tower realized the truth. This was not a routine incident. This was the beginning of a mystery that would challenge aviation experts for decades. Search and rescue operations began immediately. Aircraft were dispatched across the region. Helicopters scanned the surface below. Ships moved into position across the ocean. Satellites were directed toward the last known location. Every possible angle was examined. Rescue teams expected to find debris. They expected floating wreckage. They expected at least some sign of impact. But nothing appeared. Hour after hour passed with no results. Search crews reported clear waters and empty skies. Day after day brought the same outcome. No metal fragments, no luggage, no oil slicks, no trace of fuel. The ocean remained calm and silent. Search zones expanded wider and wider. Advanced technology was brought in. underwater scanners explored the depths below. Weeks slowly turned into months. Despite the largest coordinated search efforts, there was still no physical evidence that the aircraft had ever fallen from the sky. It was as if the plane had vanished completely, leaving behind only questions. Eventually, officials were forced to make a difficult decision. After months of searching with no results, the operation was officially suspended. The passengers were declared missing and later presumed dead. Families were informed. Memorials were held. Questions filled the silence left behind. Years passed. Aviation technology advanced rapidly. Navigation systems became more precise. Air travel grew safer and more reliable. Yet this single case refused to disappear. Investigators continued to review the data. Experts proposed theory after theory. Mechanical failure, human error, unexpected environmental conditions. But every explanation faced the same problem. There was no physical evidence, no wreckage, no remains, no final transmission. As time moved forward, the mystery did not fade. Instead, it grew deeper. Then, many years later, something extraordinary happened. An airport radar detected an approaching aircraft. At first, controllers assumed it was a technical glitch, but the signal remained steady. As the data updated, disbelief spread through the control room. The flight number matched. The aircraft type matched. The route matched perfectly. The lost plane was returning. The aircraft landed smoothly on the runway. There were no signs of damage. No emergency response was needed. When the doors opened, passengers walked out calmly and without concern. They appeared unchanged. They had not aged. Their clothing looked exactly the same. Their watches still showed the date and time from the day they disappeared. For them, the flight had lasted only a few hours. For the rest of the world, decades had passed. And one final question remained. If time itself can fracture without warning, how certain are we that it hasn't already happened again?